1919, as the post-war recession took hold in Glasgow, high unemployment rates were exacerbated by the return of ex-servicemen. The influential Clyde Workers' Committee suggested dividing up the available work to give everyone a fair chance at employment. A reduction of 54 to 40 hours per week was proposed, but agreement between the workers and employers couldn't be reached, and on the 27th of January 1919, a strike was called. 40,000 men came out on strike in solidarity with their fellow Glaswegians, and by the end of the week, 60,000 were striking. The government was asked to mediate between the two sides, and a mass meeting was called in George Square to hear their official response. Tensions rose in the tightly packed crowd as tramcars attempted to make their way through the square. Some began to suspect that the trams were being used to unofficially break up the crowd. Who threw the first punch is unknown, but a riot soon took hold. Union leaders rushed outside from the meeting they'd been attending in the city chambers to attempt to calm the crowd, but before they could intervene, they were arrested for instigating and inciting a riotous mob. As the red flag was lifted over the square, Kirkwood, Shinwell and Gallagher were led away by the police. The sheriff attempted to read the riot act, but the crowd ripped the paper away from his hand before he could do so. The rioting continued well into the night, with scores injured. News travelled fast to a nervous London of a possible Glaswegian Bolshevist uprising. The army were called, battalions were sent in from England and the Highlands for fear that the Glaswegian soldiers would sympathise with the strikers. For almost a week, 10,000 troops supervised the city, with 12 Union leaders being sent to jail and a possible revolutionary moment slipping by. Many, however, believed it was a sign that Glasgow and Scotland were ready for a socialist revolution. Socialist agitator John Maclean said after the riot, "I hold that the British Empire is the biggest menace to the human race. We on the Clyde have a mighty mission to fulfill. We can make Glasgow a Petrograd, a revolutionary storm centre second to none. A Scottish breakaway at this juncture would bring the Empire crashing to the ground and free the waiting workers of the world." Kirkwood, Shinwell and Gallagher all served their sentences, but would later go on to become members of Parliament and the first Labour government of 1923. Together they cemented the reputation of Red Clydeside across the UK, following, however, a reformist rather than revolutionary programme.